Imagine walking past a cafe and seeing a baby fast asleep in a stroller on the sidewalk, completely unattended while the parents dine inside. A few blocks away, police officers actively manage a public perimeter without carrying a single firearm. Heavy policing and strict prison sentences are standard global methods for maintaining order. Iceland manages to be one of the safest nations on Earth, with an almost total absence of those traditional deterrents. The country operates on a health-centric logic. They view crime as a preventable public health condition rather than an inevitable behavioral flaw that requires armed suppression. Defining crime as an illness redefines the state's role. The government works to inoculate the population before the first offense happens, focusing on the root cause before any symptoms appear. Back in the 1990s, Iceland faced a crisis. Teen drinking, smoking, and drug use rates were among the highest in Europe, creating a reliable pipeline straight into adult criminality. When faced with juvenile delinquency, governments typically respond with curfews and police crackdowns. Iceland decided to investigate the diagnostic causes. Why did young people feel the need to alter their state of mind in the first place? Researchers found a lack of meaningful engagement. To fix this, the state dedicated vast funding to alternative environments, specifically structured programs for sports, music, and the arts. This physical infrastructure required a secondary layer of community management. Local schools and parents organized to ensure a constant, reliable adult presence in these new spaces. This chart tracks the result of those interventions. We see a dramatic drop in youth substance abuse starting in the late 90s, directly followed by a multi-decade decline in overall adult crime rates. By intercepting risky behaviors during adolescence and redirecting that energy into structured goals, the country effectively starved its own criminal justice system of future offenders. That early intervention creates a stable baseline, but maintaining a safe society for adults requires an entirely different sociological mechanism: systemic trust. We visualize this feedback loop. Trust in institutions flows into voluntary compliance, like citizens willingly reporting minor infractions or cooperating with police. This results in lower crime, reinforcing initial trust. But introduce aggressive policing, cooperation stops, and the self-regulating system collapses. When a population shares a high level of mutual trust, the society largely polices itself, rendering heavy-handed enforcement tactics unnecessary. Of course, preventative models are not flawless. People still break the law. When that happens, the prison system steps in. These facilities are intentionally small, functioning primarily as centers for ongoing education and skill building rather than isolation. The logic behind this approach is entirely pragmatic. Almost every person who enters an Icelandic prison will eventually finish their sentence and return to their neighborhood. The justice system prioritizes making sure that returning individual is capable of functioning in society. Neutralizing the threat of their next crime takes precedence over extracting vengeance for their last one. To be clear, Iceland is not a crime-free utopia. The police actively combat domestic violence, fraud, theft, and a growing rate of cybercrime. The country also possesses a unique demographic advantage. Managing national services is inherently less complex with a geographically isolated population of only 400,000 people. Still, writing off their success as a byproduct of a small population misses the actual mechanisms at work. The safety they enjoy is the result of deliberate policy choices, not geographic luck. The blueprint relies on three specific policy pillars: proactive youth infrastructure, rehabilitative justice, and the active cultivation of institutional fairness. Look at how your own city or country handles public safety. If you could adopt just one of those priorities to address the root causes of crime in your community, which one would actually make a difference?